Look, everyone makes mistakes, like Baskin-Robbins when they hired my cousin Carl and lost a franchise in that accidental fire. They did, however, come up with a new flavor of ice cream. The tragedy for my cousin was twofold, of course, because it was the most prestigious job he has had to date. But there's a vast difference between my cousin working at an ice cream shop and, say, a surgeon working on a patient. The words, well, crap, that's not good, have two entirely different meanings. And even though there were serious consequences to the fire that Carl started, they pale in comparison to a surgeon's mistake, like the surgeon who accidentally killed 3 people in one surgery. It's Russ Woody again, whether you like it or not, with another vital historical fact. Dr. Robert Liston was a British surgeon who lived until he was dead in 1847. Back in the days before anesthesia and when no one understood what the fuck a germ was, Liston was famous for his ability to complete operations in a matter of seconds, which was a plus because if someone is cutting off your leg without anesthesia, well, I would guess the quicker the better. He bragged that he could amputate a leg in just 2.5 minutes, and you got to admit that's pretty impressive. This was during a time when surgery was a spectator event where observers watched what was going on from galleries that surrounded operating rooms. It was also where the first bag of popcorn was sold, which is a lie. That part I made up, but not the gallery thing. So very often, as Dr. Liston approached the operating table, brandishing his cutting tools, he would shout to the audience, "Time me, gentlemen, time me," which became his catchphrase. Years later, his great-great-great-grandson tried to revitalize the catchy phrase about his professional speed, and it pretty much killed his career in porn. That was a joke. So one day, Liston is amputating some poor sap's leg, and he's got all these guys holding him down, which looks like R. Crumb was in the room drawing this sketch. He says, "Time me, gentlemen," and he digs in, sawing like a logger, but then he accidentally severs the fingers off the hand of an assistant who was holding the patient down. Liston continued the surgery and took off the patient's leg. But unfortunately, both the patient and the assistant got gangrene and died a couple days later. And during the surgery, he accidentally cut an elderly spectator's coat. The old man wasn't hurt, but he was splattered with blood from the patient's amputated leg and the medical assistant's severed fingers. Thinking he had been wounded, the old guy freaked out, had a heart attack, and dropped dead. Bam, 3 at once. And while accidentally killing 3 people is a miraculous feat in and of itself, my cousin could have killed more.